Hello, my name is Brandon Basham. I'm the principal at Carroll Middle School, and I'd like to invite you to this year's sixth grade orientation video. Normally, we would be doing this in person, but with some of the things going on restriction wise, we still weren't able to quite get all of our families into the building. So, we're going to do this again this year via a video presentation. As I shared with you, I'm Brandon Basham. I'm the principal here at Carroll Middle School. Next year, when your students arrive, will be my sixth year as the principal of this building. I have two assistant principals that help me out throughout the day and year. I have Mr. Brian Hill, who is also our athletic director, and Mrs. Michelle Lash. These two can help with any of the things that any of you might need in terms of questions about school, discipline, just technology, anything that happens to come up. These are some of the folks who will be helping us with those things. We have two guidance counselors here at Carroll Middle School, Ms. Melissa Robinson and Amber Starkle. These two do a fantastic job of helping you with all different types of things at school, whether that be scheduling, lockers, just all different kinds of things, any emotional support, any academic support that your child may need. These are our two people who primarily work in this area. Again, both of them work with all of our students here at Carroll Middle School, but we do our best to separate them. Mrs. Robinson does last names A through L, while Mrs. Starkle has the last names M through Z. Again, this is just a primary piece of when they meet with them for specific items such as scheduling. But again, they certainly are able and willing to help any student regardless of the last names. We have two teachers who help out with our resource room, and that is Mrs. Jill Sidebottom and Mr. John Lehman. And if your students are assigned to work with them, you will be contacted typically through your fifth grade resource teacher. Here at Carroll Middle School, we have two teams in the sixth grade. We separate the students about half on one team and half on the other. We have a U-shaped hallway where we actually have half of the students on one side and then kind of wrapped around to the bottom of the U, and then starts the other team and wraps around to the other side. We have a bunch of great teachers listed here. I won't read all of their names to you. You can see those here on the slide, but this is how they are separated. There is no difference between either of the teams. We are great teachers on both sides. It's truly just to make school feel a little bit smaller and a little more focused by having the specific teams. It allows us to kind of keep lockers on one side and just have a team of teachers that can really wrap around the students and support them from all the different angles. So again, lots of great teachers, nothing different between the two sides. I often get asked by the students, when are they going to find out which team and how do we decide which team they're on? And I always remind them that it really is just a magic button. I click on the computer and it will do the separating for me based on their schedules and balancing of classes. And then how they'll find out will be once the schedules are released in early August at registration time, they will then get to see all their teachers for their day, including which team that they are on. Some important information for next school year. The school day does start at 8:45 and ends at 3:40. The buses will drop and the doors will open around 8:25. Sometimes that is closer to 8:30 that the buses release, but they do have plenty of time to come in and eat breakfast. We do have a grab and go service for our bus students that can grab breakfast and easily take that to class, and teachers know that they're going to eat that here. Students who are dropped off up front by their parents or other family members can enter in at door 1 at 8:15 in the morning. We do then allow them to come in. We do not allow anybody into the building before that due to supervision. So we do need you to make sure if you are dropping off that you're holding off as long as possible, because it can get cold and rainy and we just don't have anybody in the building that can supervise prior to those times. So those will be when the students can officially come into the building. A few important pieces. Sixth graders are required to, by Indiana law, to have vaccinations at the beginning of a new school year. So I have those listed here. There are 4 required vaccinations that have to happen prior to coming into school, and we do need a copy of that to the school nurse. We certainly do try to give you a little bit of time to get those completed, but eventually we do have to stop allowing students to come to school until this is completed. So again, these are required, and if they're not completed, the school nurse will be in contact with you to work that out, and hopefully we'll be able to get that done so everybody can be in school. Registration dates, important next year, August 2nd. Will be from 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And then we have an early day the next day, August 3rd, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if anything changes with that, we will certainly be in contact with you and let you know. But those are the current times as of today. Also, great information is up to date and kept on the NACS website, which I have also listed here for you. A few things that I like to discuss at this point in time is certainly technology. And while that usage has definitely changed dramatically in the elementary school with the last couple of years that we've had, typically you would see an increase in usage coming into middle school. I think that's already been pretty high at the elementary, given all the things that we've all been enduring the last few years. One thing that is vital is making sure that the students charge their device daily. We only have a limited number of loaners here at school, so if students do not have them charged or do not have their cords, they will have to borrow to do that. And eventually, there does unfortunately come with some consequences, as we cannot pass those out and use those all throughout the day. So it is definitely a major change that it is absolutely required that the students have their devices ready to go. All the classes will use them as they work a lot through Canvas. And again, that's something certainly you've all seen throughout the last few years with some of our e-learning and closures that have had to happen. So Canvas is something that all of our teachers here in the middle school use, and they will post regular assignments on there, upcoming assignments, tests, vital information for class, and it's just our learning management system that all of our students will use regularly. So again, not as big of a change since the last 2 years have brought about some changes, but definitely something that you will continue to use and see a lot here at the middle school level. Another major thing that I like to discuss during our orientation is just a few technology tips. As the students start to use their devices more, certainly social media becomes a bigger part of possible in their life. And I think a vital piece of information is just to reiterate to you that conversations are so important to the success of navigating technology. It's certainly a challenge for our students at home and at school with the different things that are at their fingertips. Social media, a great tip would be to make sure that you are checking and monitoring accounts. Oftentimes we see students who we find have multiple accounts and are using different things. So continuing to monitor your student accounts is a great help. Reminding your students to make their accounts private. Oftentimes students have accounts that are open and anybody can see, and there's certainly a safety component that can come with that. So we encourage you to encourage your students to make their accounts private. Also, just checking the filters, making sure that everything at home is certainly getting ran through your personal filters. A great thing for the student device, no matter when they're on it, there are some restriction times that come about, so there are some things that will get locked down at various times, but anything that they try to type in on their school device will run through our filter, whether that is at home, on the weekend, or in the evening. Those still run through those filters, so that's a great tool for us to have. And then also, just to remind you that the apps are always changing. Certainly feel free to check in with your student's guidance counselor for information if you're needing some support or tips with those, but constantly things are changing on those apps. So we have noticed, for example, a lot of times now the kids are using their gaming systems, such as the Xbox Live, to have conversations and chat. So they're always finding new ways to be in connection with one another. Some tips on devices. As we talked about, of course, continuing to monitor those accounts and devices are great. One tip that I have talked about with a lot of my students that have struggled with this, but we really encourage you to take those devices out of their bedrooms and make sure that they're off at night. We see a lot of conversations that take place very late, well after a typical bedtime, that students are interacting with other students via social media. A lot of things that we end up finding out about, or transcripts or images that we are to see, tend to be things that happen late at night. So just a thought to share with you all. I have a lot of students who will say, well, I'm the only one that my parents take my phone out. No, no, you're not. There are a lot of folks that do that just as a means to be extra cautious with the social media. As we know, going into next school year, the previous 2 school years, the one we're currently in and the one prior, COVID-19 has had a major impact for so many of us and in so many different ways, but certainly on school. And the last 2 years have brought about different obstacles each of those years. As of right now, we don't know what this will bring for us in the fall. We will be prepared and ready to follow the rules that are set forth before us. We will certainly communicate anything that we know as we find that out. So again, over the summer, we'll be in contact, and certainly in the fall with anything on how that will impact us. Certainly, we hope that things will continue to improve, and hopefully those impacts will either be gone or minimal. So let's all hope for that and get a start to a regular school year. One thing that certainly has been adjusted is our curriculum, and I want to let you know that that will continue to happen. Our teachers will look at, what types of things did we have to adjust or miss due to those last couple of years. And our teachers and staff here at Carroll Middle have done a great job of working with one another and assessing the information that we need to know to be successful. And so we'll continue to do that. So just want to make everyone aware that that is something that is very high on our priority list and we will work through. Of course, also, there's been a lot of emotional stress during these times, and we want to make sure that you know that we are here to give support, and that goes for all of us in the office, certainly our guidance counselors, but we also have a SAP counselor, which is Student Assistant Program Counselor. And this is where we have partnered with Parkview, and we actually have a counselor in the building 3 days a week. Our current SAP counselor is Mrs. Anna Knight. And between her and our guidance counselors, and of course my administrative staff and myself, we want to do everything we can to make sure that we are here to support students who are going through anything, and certainly anything that has been a result of the last couple of years. One other thing I like to touch on is our kind of motto here at Carroll Middle School. A few years back, with the help of my staff, we created our matrix here, and we focus on "We Are Chargers." And every day we end the day with this phrase: we work to achieve, we are respectful, we show responsibility, and we have empathy for others. We are Chargers. And we end our day every day with that. We have, as you can see on the chart here, identified 5 areas where we want to focus on this achievement, respect, responsibility, and empathy. And so in the classroom, the teachers will have a poster of this, and they will go over their expectations of this at the beginning of the year. And then throughout the building, in the hallway, restroom, cafeteria, and our after school areas, we also have posters of specific items for those. And we like to really focus what we do here around these things. When things come up, we like to, again, go refer back to this and really use this as a means of something that we can have common language inside of our building. We also use this with a positive behavior award system. So we have some things throughout the year that teachers will name students of the week and students of the month, and we pass out little wooden nickels with our Chargers logo on it, and "We Are Chargers" on the back, and we pass those out to students when we catch them doing things on this chart or matrix. And we have big prizes, we have little prizes, the kids have the ability to save those for different rewards, such as being the principal for the day, which they always want to save up for that. And just lots of random things throughout. We have a snack cart that we put out at lunchtime. So we really just try to use this as just a nice motivation to, again, focus on that achievement, respect, responsibility, and empathy here at Carroll Middle School. I'd like to thank you for your time here today. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or any of our staff here at Carroll Middle School. At this time, I will be moving you along to, I believe, our guidance counselors who will share some information with you about courses. We hope that you have a great end of your 5th grade year and a great summer, and we cannot wait to see all of these smiling faces here next year. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
everybody, my name is Amber Starkle and I am a school counselor at Carroll Middle School. I'm going to explain our course offerings for next school year. Middle school students have 8 periods to their class day, each about 44 minutes long. Students in 6th grade will have 1 period each of reading, language arts, math, science, social studies, PE, study hall, and an elective of their choice. We do offer accelerated language arts and reading as well as math, and we base those on teacher recommendation. We are currently working with your 5th grade teachers to obtain those recommendations for next year. Our elective options include year-long classes of band, choir, or band/choir. Students can also elect to take semester-long classes of General Music A and General Music B. Our students were able to choose their elective classes in February prior to the school closing, but if you have any questions on what your student is registered for or need to make any changes, please email us as soon as possible. We'd like to have all of our schedules completed before the summer just to ensure an accurate school schedule for next year. A few things to note on this slide. At this time, students will have 27 weeks of PE and 9 weeks of computers/art. Also, the student's charger time is intentionally built as the last class of the school day for 6th graders. Students are assigned to a core subject area teacher, and they also have the opportunity to visit other core area teachers should they need any help in a specific subject. Here is a layout of a typical school day. Note that students will have a 4-minute passing period between each of their classes, as well as a 30-minute break for lunch after 6th period. We know that this can feel like a long stretch of time in the morning leading up to lunch, so if your student would like to bring a snack to school, they can do so in their locker and then have that snack during their 3rd period class. That 8th period study hall will run from 2:55 to 3:40, and then our school day is over at 3:40.
Parents of our incoming 6th grade students. My name is Melissa Robison and I am a school counselor at Carroll Middle. Last names A through L. And oftentimes, as we get ready to welcome our new 6th grade students, our parents are asking what it is they can do to be helpful. So a couple things that we wanted to share with you. One is being patient with the process, because this is a transition, and while it can be very exciting, sometimes it can be stressful too. So having that patience, also being supportive and reassuring for your child that they're going to be okay at middle school, and just being there to help back them up with that. Additionally, we ask that you are listening to your kids if they have some questions or concerns, being an open ear for them to hear what their thoughts are. Also, we love for you to ask questions. We are here to help support this transition to middle school. We know that there can be a lot of questions in that, especially if this is your first student transitioning to middle school, or if you're new to our community. Please make sure that you're asking questions and we can help find those answers for you. One of the most important things that we tell our parents is to get to know your child's friends. As you know, middle school is a very impressionable time for kids, especially when it comes to their social and emotional well-being, and oftentimes who their friends are can have a strong influence on them and the decisions that they're making. So we ask that you get to know the friends that they are with. Also, getting to know teachers and staff. This is so important to also make you feel connected with our school and also encourage your children to as well. Our teachers and staff are available. You can call, email. We're happy to help, and I know our team leaders will speak to parent meetings and what those look like for you. So make sure that you're reaching out with any questions that you have. Another great thing to do at this time is to highlight the positives. This transition allows for a couple things that are really big to happen for your kids. Number one is independence. So as our kids grow, we expect them to develop more independent skills, and middle school is a time where they can continue on that growth. Additionally, they're going to have more opportunities, so more decisions to make, more things available to them. So we really encourage them to get involved and participate in some form of activities at the middle school level. And there are also changes to expect with this process. So as we get ready for middle school to begin, especially sixth grade, your children might start to develop a busier schedule. So working on some of those time management skills, they're going to have more challenges to their curriculum. So oftentimes students that were coming from elementaries, if they had a lot of strengths in a particular area, we may notice a little bit of a learning curve as they get started in those other classes. We're also looking at a set of new rules, and our office staff and teachers will be going through those rules with them to make sure they understand what the expectations are. And also, we love the fact that we have 4 elementary schools coming together, so this allows your child to meet more kids. They're going to have different classmates and more classmates than they were used to at their elementary school. So expect new friendships to form as we get started in our year. And finally, your kids have more choices. So that is a big change for them. And we just want to be here to help foster that growth for them and encourage and again, questions or anything that we can do to help. So we are excited to meet your kids and to work with them. So please let us know any questions or concerns that you have, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to Carroll Middle School. This is Mr. Collinger. I am the math teacher for Team Lightning and happen to also be the team leader for that team. Mr. Windmiller is also a team leader for the other team, Team Bolt. So many of you parents and sixth graders those are some of those teachers that you would reach out to maybe start some communication with the team of teachers, and we would spread that word to the others. Obviously, if you have a specific related question to that subject area, you can just reach those individual teachers as well. But we are looking forward to a great school year. Obviously, we are ending the school year for the 2019-20 year quite different than we've ever had before, and hopefully we will be back in the classroom again. We're always looking forward to our students, but we're really looking forward to seeing our faces in person this year than ever before. So hopefully everything does work out for the best for everyone and we can get back to that safe environment. We're going to start out today with getting your sixth grader organized. And at school, obviously, the locker is an important component to that. We always do a locker clean out every couple of weeks, just like cleaning the bedroom. And the lockers get pretty messy, and we again guide those students through that on a weekly basis to get them up to speed, especially at the beginning of the year, and then again every couple of weeks throughout the course of the year to keep those lockers organized and neat. Color-coded notebooks and homework folder. This is something that we spend a lot of time on as well. Sometimes color-coded notebooks can be somewhat overwhelming for some students, so that works for some to where they have a different notebook for each subject area. Some students find that to be too overwhelming, too much clutter. So we stick with just one folder, which is a homework folder. And we just simply take that folder and open it up. It's got a pocket on each side. And those pockets, one side says done and the other side says not done. Very simple. And it goes home with them. It goes to every single class. It goes to that study hall. And it does work for a lot of students. So you know as a parent, you know as a student what works best for you. Those are some options for you. Using Canvas to help find helpful resources in each class, that is something that we will use a lot. And the good thing is through all of this pandemic that all of you have been using Canvas. So I'm guessing your skills are much sharper than what the previous incoming sixth grade groups have had. So that is a definite plus. We will use Canvas for each and every single class. There's lots of resources that are listed on there with homework to study guides for tests and quizzes and any other tools to help you through that course for that particular time. So it's a very organized way, very organized platform. And again, you're going to see that time and time again. Parents, you will definitely want to make certain that you are set up on that by following them on Canvas so that you can see that on a daily basis as well. At home, obvious things, set time for homework. Obviously, when they come home, they're tired. It's a longer day. It is a lot, and trying to keep yourself organized and knowing that there's a different teacher for each class period of each 8 periods, 7 for them in a sense, because that 8th class will be their study hall, but they've got 7 different teachers they're dealing with and different situations. So setting a time for homework is going to be important, but give them some time to kind of unwind when they get home, and then set that time for them. Quiet place, obviously, get that in a location that they can stay focused. But I wouldn't just leave them alone. Do check on them. We find some student parents will contact us and they're like, I thought they were doing what they needed to be doing, but obviously they were not. It's just that age group that they're starting to become more social, and obviously the video games and such always get in the way, and the technology, and having a computer with them, and again, meeting new friends from other schools, and that social part, which is important, and we do value that, but there obviously is a time and place for that. Using Canvas, again, to find helpful resources in each class, I would have those students show you that. They're going to be shown that in class often, especially at the beginning of the year, getting them trained for it. So have them show you that information as well, but always know that it is on Canvas. That's kind of your go-to, when in doubt, resource, turn to Canvas. Limiting TV, social technology, break the big projects down. That is and your teachers are going to already be doing that. Projects aren't just presented to them and say, here you go. They are broke down into different sections, different times that certain parts of it will be due, so that it's not always due all at once. And so just know that those will be there, but break them down. Don't wait till the last minute. Some of those social studies projects where they're maybe choosing to build something where they forget about it, and then they run out of time and don't get to put the effort into it and prove to the teacher what they do truly know. So again, breaking those big projects down, only preparing the night before. That is a definite no-no. I think those are, again, a lot of the obvious. Procrastinating and waiting to the last minute is not the best way of going about things. Online calendar in Canvas, that is on there all the time. They will use that. That needs to be used daily. Daily assignments are posted on there. Due dates are on it. Test dates are also on there as well. And again, follow your child option on Canvas. We'll give you more information on that in the fall, but that is definitely something you will want to do. And I'm assuming you probably are already doing that now, with especially as much use as we're having with Canvas this end of this school year. Homework folder, again, done and not done, take to every class. Take home daily. All assignments need to come home. That's the big part of that. We want all the assignments to come home. So if you as a parent are asking, do you have this done or that done? If you know your child better than obviously we do. And if they have had a history of not getting some things turned in, then don't just assume that, yes, they have it done. Make them prove it. That takes all the question out of it, holds them accountable. If they know that they have to produce that, then it needs to come home. And if you want to have that philosophy of, if it doesn't come home, I'm going to assume that it is not done, that school building is open. Come back, bring them back to school. There's lots of after school activities going on. After those school hours, get them back, get in that locker, and have them produce that. Now, keep in mind, if they don't have it done and you don't want to come back to school and they have most of those materials, the assignments are going to be on Canvas, you can go back to Canvas, and even if they got part of it done, too bad, so sad, you're redoing it type of situation. It'll save you a trip too. So again, going back to that Canvas, if you need to go back to that, or bring them to school, it is open, and parents have done that often. Grades posted online with PowerSchool. This is another really important accountability tool for parents to hold their son or daughter accountable with grades. Check that daily. Your teachers take a lot of pride in making sure that those assignments are updated on a daily basis, and we do that for you. Not for us. We do that for you. And when I say you, I'm talking parents and students. We love it when students are wanting to get those grades plugged in and see where their grade is and track that. That says a lot about those students that are really, really wanting to know what their grade is and are tracking it. So please, again, use PowerSchool, and that's students and parents, so that you can see your current grade all the time. If there's ever a question on that, certainly reach out to us. We're happy to go over that. And yes, we make mistakes, so we try to limit that, obviously, but occasionally those do come around, and you're like, yep, that's a number that shouldn't be there, and we'll make those changes. But PowerSchool is really powerful, no pun intended, to keep those students accountable by seeing those grades all the time. Here's another really good thing for you to do as a parent, and I do as a parent or of students at Northwest Allen as well, and that is setting your phone notifications. So when a grade changes, it pushes out a notification immediately to you through your phone. You can even have it set up for email, so that every day, every Monday, I do mine every Monday, or every Friday, whatever works best for you. I always do a Monday that it pushes out all of their grades to me, because I know then that the teachers have the weekend to get things updated if need be. And so those are usually pretty well up to date by Monday. So I think at probably 11:01 on Monday night, it pushes that out to me. So when I wake up Monday morning, I have all these emails for each class, and I know what each of my own children have for each of their classes. So that's another powerful way to hold your son or daughter accountable. Homework posted on Canvas by 3 p.m. each day. So usually that's for the entire week or more. So you will find on the homework page, I think we usually post that under our Team Lightning or Team Bolt Charger Time page, and we'll talk more about that again in the fall. But it's a real easy page. You click on it, and there it is. The entire week has everything listed, and there's really no guesswork. It's an easy thing to print out as well. Some students like to have a hard copy. They can print it out and cross it off when they finish it, and you can hang it on the fridge at home and cross it off as well as the week goes on. So that's a really, really nice tool for parents and for students. Studying for tests, do not allow them to solely study alone. Make sure that you're working with them at first. Again, you know your son or daughter, and you know how they prepare for studying for tests. It is different. Tests are a little more difficult, a little more involved. Science especially is a lot more intense, just because of the level that it is. And so that tends to be a little more of a struggle. Even social studies as well. There's a lot of studying of terms that they need to know. And so again, helping them study using flashcards and some of those basic skills are really good practices. Use study guides, practice tests on Canvas. Those are always there. I know for math or all of your subject areas, they will have a study guide. They will have practice tests posted on there. Those are really good resources for students to prepare for tests. Plan a minimum of studying 2 nights previous to a quiz or test. Don't wait till the last minute. Break it down, especially those big tests where there's vocabulary for science and social studies. Make sure that you're preparing ahead of time. And then fill out study guide as each section is finished, and that you'll see that those guides will be sent home well in advance, usually at the beginning of each module or section that they're working on. So they have it really from the beginning of that section until the end. Accelerated math. There are some requirements to this. RIT score for your NWEA score has to be at least an 85%. The COGAT score needs to be a 95% or higher. And there is some teacher recommendation. Definitely want to put that out there. They need to be good at note-taking skills, test-taking skills. They're an independent learner. Now, I say that cautiously because it's not just independent. It's not like here's some material and go off and figure it out. There's instruction just like any other class, and we spend a lot of time, but it goes really in depth. And when we say independent learner, it's again that learner that can take the initiative, has that desire to learn, and really has an interest in those math areas and has those quality skills needed to go to that much higher level. Completion of quality work on a daily basis. It needs to be done daily. If they fall behind because of not turning in work or just doing work to get it done and say it's done, that is not a good way of going about it. And they will find very quickly that math's going to become very difficult for them. It is skipping 6th grade, so keep that in mind. We get into the 7th grade standards and 8th grade standards, which is pre-algebra. So we go into a very deep understanding of those concepts. And so it definitely is going to be that higher end, probably that top 15% of our students would qualify for this. If you do have questions, obviously you need to reach out to your 5th grade teacher. They have done a great job in the past getting all of those requirements figured out and placements for these students. So definitely reach out to them, and if they ever have a question on anything, they do reach out to us as well. But definitely use them as your resource. And I think you already have done this for the upcoming school year. But if you do have further questions, you can reach me. It's Brian Collinger again. You can reach me at that brian.collinger at the necs.k12.inus email, which you can find that on the website for Carroll Middle School. Accelerated language, kind of the same thing that I just discussed with our math requirements. Reading and language arts NWA score of at least an 85%, and then the COGAT score of 95 or higher. Teacher recommendation, strong emphasis is placed on analyzing and synthesizing a variety of texts, and a strong emphasis placed on writing. So that is the big part. Writing is a huge component to the accelerated class. And so again, refer to your 5th grade teachers if you are having concerns or would like to get more information on this. They'll be happy to tell you about it or get you the resources that you're needing to be able to help make a solid decision on placement for this class. And I believe the last one is charger time. So our charger time, which is our study hall, is an opportunity to get homework completed. And most do. There are some that struggle with this because it is less structured. There is structure, but it is less structured. And so it is a lot of opportunity for not just getting homework done, but also to get added help if they need it in any of their other courses too. And I'll talk about that here at the end. Library, they have time to go to the library for books, research, computers. They can finish tests and make them up or labs, get some absent work if they've been absent a few days. So it's a top opportunity to do that rather than during the class time. They can talk to a counselor, and they can do that with Mrs. Starkle or Mrs. Robinson or Mrs. Knight as well. We have some counseling opportunities that we have through Parkview, and so there's some opportunities for that as well. Locker clean out, as we discussed earlier, and then there's rewards that we have available as well. We do a lot of rewards for students that are good models for others. And the I got it done in charger time rule of thumb, you do need to be checking that. That is probably the number one response we get from parents when they say, well, they keep saying that they got it done in charger time. Well, again, any work that is due that next day should be brought home. You as a parent can look at it, double check things. That is the best way going about it and holding students accountable. There are some students that, yes, you're right, they do get it done in charger time. And you know that by your son and daughter and what they have done in the past. And a lot of them do use that time to the best of their ability and use every minute of it. So it's not true for all, but just know that it's best to see it and have them produce that so that you know for sure that it has been done. As far as going around and getting some help from other teachers, it does give them an opportunity to do that. So if they're struggling with a math question, for example, they're welcome to come see me. And a lot of times I can guide them very quickly. It takes just a few minutes to get them back on track. And it is helpful because then I can see where the mistake was and get them back on track. And then they don't end up doing the whole assignment wrong. So those are some opportunities, and that's true for all of their subjects that they will have that opportunity for. So charger time is very, very valuable for sixth grade, and you'll hear lots about it. So that finishes things up for sixth grade teachers. Band and choir is where they're going to take off. So have a great summer and look forward to seeing all of you back here in the fall.